Ladies and gents, we're back at the dealership where I work in New Jersey, Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston, and I want to go over some of the aftermath of the car here after the road trip from New Jersey to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then back again, because this is probably the dirtiest my car has ever been. Looking at the car from a distance right now, it's actually not that bad, and the car actually went through two different types of being dirty, right? So when I drove out from New Jersey to Ohio and into Bowling Green, when I got there, you know, you had like bugs on the front, bugs on the windshield. Like that was what was kind of dirty, just from that sort of stuff, because it was sunny, nice driving. On the way home, it was a completely different experience. Now, after the training, I left Bowling Green and started driving east. I stopped in West Virginia probably around 11 o'clock at night to stay the night, and then continued to drive the next day on Wednesday. So I woke up, I was on the road by 6 a.m. and it was relentlessly raining the entire way through West Virginia, through Pennsylvania, into New Jersey, all the way home. And what that rain did, I feel, because the car is ceramic coated, it completely cleaned all the bugs off. There's like no grime, no bugs, nothing like that. There's just a bunch of, you know, road dirt and rain. Having a hard time trying to find the words here. But what you'll see is, look at the A-pillar here, and just look at how all the water just kind of goes around and over to the window. It's cool because I don't know if it's gonna show up on video, but you can actually see like the aerodynamic lines of the car, because you can see the way the dirt and you know, the rain was moving off the car and along the car while driving. The back of the car obviously gets the most dirty because all the dirt and everything kind of just flows off the back and swirls around back here and sticks to the back of the car. Also the wheels, when you look at the wheels are pretty filthy, but we're gonna wash it up later today. We'll get it all cleaned. One thing I am actually really surprised and happy about, because generally the car just gets driven in good weather, because if it's raining or anything like that, I'll just leave the car in the garage and I'll drive my Equinox EV. It's only in situations like this, when I'm out for a prolonged period of time, that you may actually experience weather. So under the hood here, yes, it's a little dusty, a little dirty, which I can clean up. What I'm surprised about is the inventory, because I was thinking when you're driving in the rain and you're kicking up all sorts of road moisture and things like that, which get the motor dirty, you're obviously going to get the underside of this plexi dirty. And you'll see there are some spots, there's some dust on that intake, but it's not all that bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit worse than what it actually is. This can be cleaned off, but you'd have to remove each of these panels. You'd have to take the carpet out, take off the screws that hold this plexi on, take it off, clean the intake, and then put everything back together, which I may actually end up doing, not quite yet, but as it builds up dirt, I'll do that every now and then just to keep it looking really nice. For the rest of this video, I'm kind of just gonna show you some of the footage, some of the photos I got along this road trip, some of the experiences in the training, and just a bunch of randomness. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. gonna just narrate and kind of do a voiceover to the footage you're gonna see now. The day after I got there, the next morning, I did a 5-mile run. I had some breakfast at the hotel. Then what I decided to do was just jump in the car and drive over to the Corvette factory in the museum and kind of just check out the area. Unfortunately, the factory tours were closed at the moment, so I couldn't do that. But I got to kind of drive around, and you saw a little bit of that. You saw the area along the fence line, which is completely wrapped in a sense. This way it hides what's going on and what kind of cars are inside the parking lot areas there. You saw some of the buildings out front. And then what I did was I pulled in to where their main like corporate office is, I guess, in front of the Bowling Green assembly plant sign, because there's a whole bunch of Corvettes lined up there. So I figured, let me check some of them out. I could even tell driving by that there were some Grand Sports there. The first Corvette that they had there, and by the way, these were Corvette-only parking spots, which was pretty cool. All these cars had license plates on them, whether it was like a manufacturer's plate or an actual license plate. I'm assuming they're like, some of these Grand Sports are probably driven by some pretty high-up people at GM. I could be wrong. But the Admiral Blue one with the white stripes, the red hash marks, really looked nice. It did have the carbon fiber wheels and the center exhaust on that car. Right next to it was like the opposite. It was the white with the blue stripes. That one had black wheels, red calipers, and red hash marks as well along the back fenders where the motor is on the car. So two really sharp looking vehicles. And then my personal favorite, the Roswell Green. Now this one was Roswell Green, yellow calipers, yellow hash mark stripes, and then it had the white stripe going down the top of the car. What was really cool is the employee that was driving that car happened to just walk up while I was there taking some video and drove off. So we kind of got to hear that new 6.7 liter V8. It's a little hard to hear on video because of the sounds of the highway traffic and the wind and stuff like that, but I can vouch for it in person. It sounded phenomenal. Next up, you'll see somebody was driving a C5 pace car, and then you had this real like stripped down C5 style track car that somebody was driving that looked pretty wild as well. It was just some cool stuff to see while I was driving by. I decided to pull over and kind of take a look. I even then backed my car up into the driveway there where those cars are parked to get like the nice shot of my car with the Bowling Green assembly plant sign, just like I did back in 2010 when I brought my C6 out to the Corvette factory. I like to keep a clean car. I like to make sure I park far away from people to not get like damage or door dings on cars, things like that. And I have my best friend, Christian, who's the same way, probably worse than I am. I sent him this photo of where I parked at the hotel, right? So once I checked in and I got into my room, I'm sure most people do the same thing. You look out the window and you see where in the parking lot can you see from your window. So I could pull my car over to that spot. So I parked here. And I sent them a text and I was like, listen, to the untrained eye, I know what you want me to do. You want me to take that end spot. You want me to hug that curb as close as I can. This way, if someone does park next to me in their spot, they'll have plenty of room to open their door and not do any kind of damage to my car. But there's one thing I saw, and it's that grass. And that grass looks so perfect. I told him, I was like, listen, there is for sure a sprinkler system in that grass. And if I park in that first spot, the whole side of my car is gonna get soaking wet in the morning. I guarantee it. So anyway, long story short, I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, I look out the window, I was right. You can see half the spot's covered in water. Those sprinklers went off. If my car was parked there, the whole side would have been wet. So I ultimately did choose the perfect parking spot for my car. And when you have a car like this, you gotta do these things. Another thing I want to point out, on the drive in, I left at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was very dark out. So a lot of times, I don't know about you, but when I'm driving, the dash lights being as bright as they are sometimes, it kind of takes away from your vision looking down the road. So a lot of times I'll dim those lights out to make them less bright. This way my eyes are focused more on outside and you don't have that bright light kind of messing with your eyes. So in the Corvette, like you see here, when it's lit up, you have your nav screen, you have your instrument cluster, you have all your buttons. But when you dim down that system and you turn that knob all the way, it literally turns almost everything off to the point that all you see is a digital speedometer, your fuel gauge, and your temperature gauge. You'll also have the head-up display. So out on the windshield, if you have head-up display in the car, you'll see that as far as your speed tachometer things of that nature. But it really gives it a dark stealth look, and you have so much better visibility just looking outside the windshield. I do have some more footage of some of the training exercises and the track driving that we did. So I'm gonna make a separate video with that. I also met up with a fellow coworker, salesman, Steve, who does YouTube as well. I'm gonna link his channel down below if you wanna check it out, because he's putting some content up about his experience here as well at this Corvette Academy training class, which is a lot of fun. And if you're a salesperson out there with Chevrolet and your dealership, your management team lets you go, take advantage of it. It's a great experience. You learn a ton about the cars, and more importantly, you get to experience the cars. So then you'll be able to better explain to your customers and share those experiences with them, get them all amped up and ready to go, and ultimately ready and willing to buy a Corvette from you.